This is one of my favourite spots to teach this plant that I'm about to show you, just because it shows how carefully you have to be looking in amongst the nettles. Comically, there's also little baby, what do you call them? Sycamore seedlings or saplings in here as well. And all of these leaves create this kind of mass of similar leaves. But if we just focus in for a minute on these ones, and we notice that they're growing on a vine that's kind of wrapped itself all around these nettles and is growing up and through them. The leaf itself looks quite a lot like a grapevine leaf, and that's often what people say when we see them on courses. And it's not a grapevine, but it is a nice way to remember it. It grows on a vine, looks like a grape leaf, and it's actually hops. And wild hops is all over the place in this part of the UK, Kent particularly, but we're over in Sussex and there's a lot of it here as well. I think it's an escape. I don't think it's a native, but it's been an escape for a very long time. It's naturalised at this point. And as well as later on, if you've got female wild hops, so hops is one of the plants that's either male or female, and female hops produces these beautiful strobiles or cones. They kind of look like paper lanterns, the flower parts, and that's what people would gather to make beer. Amongst other things, it's a known soporific, so people will often gather it to help them sleep as well. I used to make little pillows for myself out of it when I was really struggling with insomnia years ago. Now I have small children and I don't suffer with insomnia anymore. But at this time of year, or early in the year when it's young, these hops tips, so the ends of the long vines, the shoots, are really tasty. So you can harvest these at this stage. You can harvest the shoots right out the ground when they're young as well. Depends what you want to do to the patch. But they can steam really, really beautifully. I treat them like asparagus, but obviously they're slimmer than most asparagus. So you want to make sure that you adjust your cooking times for that. But they go particularly well with eggs. They're just a really nice, light, tender wild vegetable. And if you gather a few of them up, they're really worthwhile having. And as I said, really quite easy to identify. So these grapevine-y looking leaves. The only thing that I've seen people mistake this for, and I may see it on this walk, in which case I'll make a video about it, is bryony. And bryony, black bryony, is another vine, but black bryony is very, very shiny and smooth, whereas these, I wonder if you can see it on video. If I run my hands up it, they kind of stick. It's got these amazing, almost like cleavers does, this amazing kind of sticky, tiny little Barbie sticky hairs on the shaft of the stem or the vine. And if you look very closely, you can see these little hairs. Oh, if I can get it to focus on the stem, but it's much easier to feel them than it is to see them. Yeah, look, I'm trying to pull up and it's got my skin. And so black bryony is smooth. It also has heart-shaped shiny leaves as opposed to these lovely vine leaf shapes, and it also has very, very different kind of flowers, and later on it has berries, which you won't see on the hops. So bryony is quite easy to differentiate. The berries start off green, they end up red. The flowers are very kind of nondescript. They're almost like little nettle flowers. So you see these, they're just kind of tiny little strings of flowers that don't really look very floral. And you get similar sorts of things on black bryony, where it's just this tiny little string of flowers, but you wouldn't really look at it and think, oh, there's a flower. So yes, they are actually very easy to differentiate from each other as long as you know what you're looking for. And hops is delicious. So if you see this on your walks, do look out for vines that are growing up and through things, because I have seen people, in fact it took me a year or so to find this patch, which is on a really regular walk for me, just because if you're not looking, and they're in amongst nettles and things like that. They do look very, very similar. Worth saying that sometimes down the vine a bit, the leaves can not be so vine shaped. They can be almost like a very spiky heart. But you're looking for more like this 3 or 5 lobed vine shaped leaves are more typical, and I see a lot more of. Enjoy your foraging. Do press like and subscribe. It's really helpful to me while I'm growing the channel and trying to spread our message. And if you're local to Sussex, do give me a message or comment below if you'd like to have some more information about booking a course.